My bank's AI chatbot is fluent in many languages, available 24/7, and answers almost instantly. But my grandma, well, she still struggles to find the right buttons. You can order iced coffee in 3 taps, but filing a tax report still feels like solving a puzzle from 2003. We've built these systems that are smart, but are they kind? What if the tech revolution today is emotionally tone deaf? Because the real question is not just about how fast we can go. Sometimes it's about who gets to come along with us. Digitalization has shaped our societies in many good ways in Indonesia, from helping public services easier or helping people speak up through social media. Technology has solved big issues here. According to the Indonesian ISP Association, in 2024, over 79% of Indonesian citizens are now internet users. Now that's a big number, but a recent academic review reveals that a lot of Indonesians have low digital literacy. And it stems from 3 main reasons. First, poor digital infrastructure. Second, limited education on digital technologies. And third, low awareness of digital ethics. Netizen. Not sure if that's something that I should laugh about or something of a concern. I believe that access has been growing, but inclusion is not guaranteed. I believe that the next wave of transformation lies not in just building what's possible, but in what's accessible. And I believe that finance is the perfect case study. We've always been told that money is power. And if that's true, financial systems are the architecture of power. But in recent decades, this architecture of power has been very well fortified, full of jargons, guarded by minimum balances, built just for the elite few. But something incredible changed. Now, I want to do a quick poll. Please raise your hands if you're investing in capital markets today. That could be stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Okay. Please keep your hands up if you started investing in capital markets during the pandemic. Okay. Thank you. You can put your hands down. According to OJK, the number of Indonesian capital market investors in 2019 was only 2.5 million people. But that number grew to over 14 million people in 2024. Now for crypto, that number is even crazier. In 2020, there were only around 2 million investors holding crypto assets. But in 2024, that number exploded to over 22 million people. That's 10x growth in just a measly 4 years. Now this shift didn't just suddenly happen because people got richer. Well, I hope they do. But something changed in the narrative. It's the tone, the experience. That now you can play a part in this conversation in finance. It stopped being a gated social club. We've always been thinking that technology is about doing these big things. But I believe that the real power of tech is in how it makes people feel. It's having someone crossing over from excluded to empowered. And a lot of times we think of technology as these big ideas that we cannot practice in our daily lives. And I see this in many ways in Indonesia. When an app lets a student invest just as little as 10,000 rupiah to play in the same games that the billionaires are playing, that's more than just financial inclusion. That's philosophical disruption. That's trying to say that, hey, you belong in this system too. Or basically, you can get rich too. It's trying to say that this space also belongs to you. That your voice, your future, your goals, they matter. And I see this in my own work as a finance content creator. Social media becomes unlikely financial classrooms. Every time I try to create content and simplifying it, I'm not just simplifying it, I'm translating it. Not into this overly complex jargons, but into simple stories that they can understand. And every comment that I get, like, thank you so much, I finally understand something new, it's not just a mere compliment. It's someone crossing over from exclusion to empowerment. And I believe that this transcends finance. So the real question is, what can we all do now? Whether you're in media, education, or government institutions, I believe that each and every one of us has a role to play in harnessing digitalization to bring transformation in our respective communities. And I would like to share 3 simple things that we can do to achieve that. First, lead with feelings and not just facts. In our hyper-digital world, it's so easy to get caught on just building good products and good systems. I mean, these are really important, but sometimes what's often missing and most needed is empathy. A 2017 study published in the Harvard Business Review reveals that leaders who express empathy significantly increase trust, collaboration, and performance within their teams. You can actually do something right, yet still make someone feel wrong. How you make someone feel in any kind of interaction, especially digital ones, it will determine whether you are building trust or destroying it. So ask yourself these simple questions. Would I want to be spoken this way? What would I do if I were in their shoes? Because I believe that digital transformation is not about changing systems or keep on building new ones. It's about making sure that the systems are more human. Second, look out for the edges. As technology accelerates, it risks leaving people behind. Not because they are incapable, but because no one cared to slow down and include them. So ask yourself daily, who in my community, who in my group might be struggling quietly? Who might not get the message because they're struggling in this new digital platform? I believe that inclusion starts small. It's not this big ideas that only occur on big systems, but it's actually something that you can do now with very small, very personal acts of awareness. Because I believe that society transforms when the most silent voices are being invited back in. And that invitation can come from you. Third, be a translator and not a gatekeeper. Digital spaces are always full of walls, jargons, new apps, new technologies, new AI. And for many people, this is like a world that they were never meant to be a part of. It feels confusing. But I believe that each and every one of us has a role as a translator. And this one is quite personal for me. In my content, I always say, sini gue jelasin kayak anak SD, which roughly translates to, let me explain it to you like you're an elementary school student. Now, that might seem hyperbolic, but I believe that being a translator means taking what you know and you break it down with great care. Not because others are less smart, but because the system was never built with everyone in mind. Whether you're helping someone going through an online registration form, or helping a friend navigate a new AI technology, every time you translate, you are creating access. And every access that you create, that creates transformation. Because digital transformation is not talking about how advanced our tools are. It's about how widely and how kindly we share them. So what does all of this tell us? That digital transformation is not always talking about building these systems of convenience, innovation. Those are really important things. But sometimes it's about building systems of permission. Because every swipe, every digital screen that you create, every explainer video in your content, it's either a moment of transformation or exclusion. You get to decide which one you want to be a part of. When we build with empathy, we're creating access that brings transformation. But when we don't, we're just reinforcing the same walls, but with faster Wi-Fi. It's pointless. So let me say this clearly. When we build without empathy, we're just creating smarter versions of the same old problems. And we don't want to do that. So as we ride in this next wave of transformation, remember, the most powerful platforms are not the ones with the most features. They're the ones that move people the most. Empathy is not the opposite of scale. Empathy is what makes scale meaningful. So yes, digitalization will certainly shape our future, my future, and your future. But only empathy gets to decide who lives in it. And maybe, just maybe, the next great act of innovation lies not in building something new, but in building something familiar with everyone in mind. Thank you.